Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is having an amazing day. And if you are not, we're here for some extra support, love, whatever it is that you need. Hopefully give you some extra insights into your life and at the very least, let you know that you are loved. So today our reading will be who are your guides and what is their message to you? What are their messages to you? Because there should be a lot of messages. So we all have different guides at different times, and there's so much going on in the Unisphere right now. Thought it would be really interesting to get some messages for them and see which kind of guides and what guides are working with you right now. So let's get right into the reading. As usual, we have the three beautiful piles we have. Now, there are many different reasons why you would choose one of these piles. It could be the energy. They all have a similar color palette, but it might be the energy, the color, and of course, we will go through pile one. It could be the message. So, wanting more for others puts me into the energy of abundance. So this is your pile one. For those of you who are resonating with this message, this energy, whatever it is that's going on in this pile. Let's see. Pile two. When I truly surrender my desires to the universe. Okay. When I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. So that's pile two. And then we have, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. So that's number three. So yeah, take your time. I'm going to take in a nice big deep breath. Hold for a second. The more aligned you are with your own energy and your own intuition, of course, the more these readings will align with you also. So take as much time as you absolutely need. If you need to go ahead and pause that video, the timestamps are down below as always. So let's go ahead and move 2 and 3 aside here. Absolutely. So if you chose this as your pile one, wanting more for others puts me into an energy of abundance, then these are your messages. So we're going to start off with who are your spirit guides. So I have quite a few different decks here, and I'm not going to look at them because I want to remain completely impartial as always, and I don't want to be taken in by any of the colors or the energies myself. So let's see who your spirit guides are right now. So I'm actually closing my eyes as I do this. So let's get you, let's see. Get you a couple here. So we're going to move this to one side and let's see who we have here. So, ooh, you have a few dragon energies. So you've got some passion, you've got some fire. So we've got the dragon, the power and the strength. So definitely some dragon energy there for you. Let's wait for the camera to get into focus. And then you have fire and water dragon here. So enables your life to flow with loving force. Prepare for change and move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected and have fun. And then you have the Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So you have the Master Buddha and you've got a lot of dragon energy around you, passion and fire. Let's do one more here too. Ah, Lady of the Lake. Absolute truth, courage, self-respect, responsibility, and the number 8, which is the, if you take it on the side, the infinity symbol there. So we're going to put this down. So definitely got some fire and water energy coming in here with the Lady of the Lake. So who are your guides and what are their messages for you? So here we are. The first message for you and who are your guides? Definitely dragon energy coming in for you. And also first message is sort of galactic energy. Definitely feel Palladian energy for you also. But not just Master Buddha, connected to sort of Christ consciousness for you, Pile 1. Definitely feeling the heart chakra, definitely feeling Christ consciousness. Christ also either the Virgin Mary or Mary Magdalene coming in. Also, for some of you, Lilith is coming into very strong feminine, divine consciousness, Christ consciousness energy coming in for you, fire and water energy, elementals, dragon, passion. What this energy is coming in for you, which is really exciting here, is sort of the energy of fire blowing through and blowing out all of the old to bring you closer to who you are. And also sort of, if you can imagine sort of a tunnel, just sort of all this, it's not fire that's burning everything away, but it's this really passionate, very strong energy. It's sort of the offshoots of the fire, but it's very, very hot, and it's blowing through everything that no longer serves you. And then also the cleansing water energy too. I mean, even having a bath, being near water. If you're not physically near water, you live near water, a body of water, just having a bath or a shower can be ritualistic for you. You can be using it in your daily practice of, and we don't want you to get obsessed with the idea of cleansing, like there's something to cleanse, like you're dirty. It's nothing like that. It's just more of shedding the old in a very powerful way. But even the way that you're cleansing is bringing back that power to you. Again, you're not going in with this, it's very subtle energy. You're not going in with this dragon energy of just burning everything out. It's not like that at all. It's just it's this very gentle awareness that's coming back to you. It's these small moments of coming back to who you are, and also to be in service. So you're being asked to, now this is, working in tandem with your ego one way or another. If you did not, I will link it down below, did an oversee of the first week of May, certainly, but it's definitely worth checking out that video because it really goes into the understanding of the energies around the whole of May, the entire month, and it's a very powerful month. So if you haven't checked it out, I will link it down below. It's a very powerful month, and it's a very subtle month too, of coming back to yourself and being of service and working in tandem with your ego and understanding how the ego works and unlocking the essence of what the ego can tell you about yourself, about the world. So it's a new sort of form of healing on a really, really high level. So this for you, whenever you click on this video, this is a very calming energy coming into yourself. There's nothing pushing here. It's about being of service, putting others first, wanting more for others. So it's not about putting your energy. It's about putting your energy certainly into everything that you touch, but it's not putting the outcome of anything out there either. It's just allowing, going with the flow, again with water. Nothing stagnant here, moving forward, very, very calm energy, living in the moment, repurposing, refocusing, really getting to the root of what it is that you want and making sure that you're asking for what it is you truly desire, not what you think you can get, or B, what is available to you now. You're being asked to move beyond those limits and really sort of set in place the life that you want, even if everything physically in your life right now is leading toward, or it's looking toward, on paper with your practical mind. I don't know how we're going to get this. I don't know how we're going to get this. This doesn't make sense. You're being asked to put it out there anyway and say to the universe, just let it go and let the universe do their job. So increased awareness about how your personal integrity, how your personal energy and power works when you give in to the understanding of surrender, using that powerful, passionate voice and truth and that dragon energy, but not to mow things down as you may have in the past. And that was perfectly reasonable, because you've come to a point where some of you had to fight to be seen one way or another, or you weren't seen the way that you wanted to be seen, or validated the way that you wanted to be validated. This is you stepping up, validating yourself, no longer needing that. So you can really transform this very incredible power that you have and be that subtle dragon, which sounds like a paradox. Really, it sounds a little bit weird. How do you be like a subtle dragon? But this sort of wise energy. And when we look back on the energy of the dragon, a very wise old energy, like the objective viewpoint, seeing everything. And yeah, when you need to be fierce, you need to be fierce. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's also something that you know innately how to do. But this is a way to use your power without dumbing it down in any way, shape, or form, but to move sort of within the wind, within the elements, and be a new form of really powerful momentum for you by working a lot less, bringing your energy really into fruition and learning how to let go, surrender. So let's see what else we have for you too. Let's get you some actual tarot here. See what you have feeling too at this point. I don't know if you can hear that, but we actually have a thunderstorm coming in the background here. I don't know if it's being picked up on the microphone. That's very exciting. I love thunderstorms. I love rain. I don't think my cat will, but so we have the King of Wands and we have the Four of Discs. So we have that passionate energy coming in yet again, and that really sort of very powerful understanding of who you are without dumbing yourself down in any way, shape, or form. But it's like you're allocating aspects of your personality and aspects of your beautiful traits and you're reassigning them to energy in your life. How can we make this move forward without me using as much energy as I did before? Your mantra is less is more. Certainly for the time being coming in, you have a lot of magical essence. For some of you, definitely feel Avalon, but actually further on with the Lady of the Lake, and this would go definitely merge into the King of Wands energy, feeling a lot of Merlin energy for you too. Bringing out your gifts, knowing where you stand, having this sort of stature of power, the sort of stature of power as you've worked on your energy, the sort of power that when you walk into a room, people look up and they stop talking, that sort of power. So it's this sort of essence of, and when we say to slow down, it's not that we're not expecting any action from you. It's just the way in which you're using your energy. The message is the way in which you're using your energy is completely different. But there's a lot of thought to it. There's a lot of energy, but also at the same time, it's sort of this simultaneous kind of movement. I keep seeing like Tai Chi. I've never done it. I think my dad used to do that actually. Tai Chi, like this beautiful energy of seamless moving into all motion, which brings in the water energy and the cleansing energy, but also the energy of fire. Might be slightly subtle, but the energy of fire, pronounced power coming in asking for exactly what it is that you want and not worrying or wondering where it's going to come from. This is time definitely for you to step into your power, for you to, what can I do? Not just for service for the world. What can I do for the world at large? What can I do for others? How can I see others? How can I forgive myself? How can I step into my own power? Not just that, looking for to appease others in any ways, but not just in the aspect of service, but also deliberating, speaking, communicating with your beautiful guides and saying, as I move forward, to gain my heart's desire, because this is definitely a time for you to gain your heart's desire. Communicating with them and saying, how, if I put the humanity first, certainly, how would I be the most happy? What is it that my heart truly desires? So for you, Pile 1, what your heart truly desires is connection. We're all here for connection. But you want divine connection with yourself, with your understanding, with your own beauty, with your own template, your own blueprint. And you want that integrated into the world so you feel as though you have that value. You have that value anyway, but you have a very strong drive to help. So once that's integrated into the blueprint, your blueprint is actually integrated into the world, you feel very connected to yourself, you feel very connected to others. So this is your time for you to gain that perspective, to gain that real connection, or take that connection that you already have to the next level. And part of that is leveling up to what you truly want and not dumbing yourself down in anymore, and asking for what it is that you want, even if you don't see a conceivable way for it to come true at this point. Now, you have a lot of divine masculine energy here, and we're certainly not telling you to, not listen to your practicality. Your practicality has absolutely got you from A to B to C to D. You're brilliant at that. We're asking you to surrender to the flow and allow in some of that other essence. You're used to doing things completely on your own. Let that other essence come in and let that help come in. Your guides are extremely powerful. You've got a lot of this galactic energy. You've got a lot of this Christ consciousness energy coming back into your heart center. If your heart center has been sort of glowing, or the other side of it, as it opens up, it might be a little bit, heart's been a little bit skippy, or it's a little bit glowing. You could have had that transformational energy moving through you, and also upgrades in your heart chakra. So if that's been in and around you recently before clicking on that video, that is why. Also that really fierce dragon energy, but that wisdom, that old age wisdom, that alchemy energy. Again, Merlin, magic, beauty. That surety, that understanding of who what your power is. And also we want to be very, very, very clear here. Your power cannot be compared to others. It's ancient power. So if any of you are sitting out there and in any way trying to compare yourself to anyone, even in motivation way, in a motivational way, like not taking on the energy or dumbing yourself down or being hard on yourself, but also just, I want to be like this motivational energy. None of that's really necessarily going to help at this point, because your unique energy is coming out to be transformed so you can move forward in the way that you want to. So comparing yourself to anyone right now will fall short for you. So, go ahead and try anything on. Trying yourself out on on others and comparing yourself in some ways, and see how it feels. And if you do find yourself falling short, or it doesn't have the same sort of motivational tactic as it did before, that's the reason why. But go ahead if you want that, but actually feeling like you need to properly do that. If you sit down and say, I'm comparing myself to somebody in a negative way, in any way that I should be further, that goes without saying. That's not going to do anything for you at this time. It's never going to do anything for you. But at this time particularly, if you take on that guise, it could actually hurt your heart. We don't want you to go in that direction. But even if you're doing it in a motivational way, which is a way that you've used before, it's perfectly reasonable. That's not going to work for you either. It's about enjoying the uniqueness and really spending time in that moment of getting to know your own energy and your own power again. because it's shifted and it's changed. And we want you to understand from the inside out what your power feels like. Test the universe. Put yourself out there. Test the universe in any way that you feel necessary. Just so you can have a gathering, a sprinkling, a knowing of your energy and how it's working and how powerful it is. But this is definitely a time, again, May is a very, very powerful month for you. For seeing some return for your energy, staying in that present moment, which I don't know about you, but it's very difficult for me to do that. I always feel as though I'm bringing in other moments into the present moment. But teaching and learning, keep an open mind and learn ideas, then teach these new ideas to others. So, and then you have the compassion to soften your heart with respect to the situation and people involved, including yourself. So you have that compassionate energy, again, coming back with that Christ conscious energy and this understanding of teaching and learning. You're definitely here to be a teacher. All teachers are also learning. I firmly believe that one way or another. Teachers often learn more from their students than the other way around, I feel like. So there's always that sort of balance between teaching and learning, but you are here to be a teacher. You are here to bring that power and wisdom to others. For a lot of you, it will be in creative means. For a lot of you, it'll be an amalgam of many different things coming together in that own unique way that you do. You have this quirky sensibility. Some of you may be animators or illustrators. Artists in that way, but you have a new way, and for some of you it's about using technology also in a new way, which is interesting, using technology that we already have, because you have that galactic energy, and taking it further and doing something interesting with it. For those of you who are thinking of recording moments, like going into photography or some type of film or something like that, where you record moments and you replay them back, this is the time for you to take that course, do whatever you need to do to get out there. Those are more specific things for you though, specific messages. But yeah, step into that heart space. We have one more for you here to do this. Step into that heart space and really have that Christ consciousness ground energy, ground you into the foundation of who you are, bringing in that beautiful Christ consciousness energy that you have in your heart space with the compassion. And again, using to be of service, the best way that you can be to integrate into your world, to bring about that profound connection. You're going to level up on that connection now without comparing yourself to anyone else. And again, let water cleanse you in any way that you can. Use that dragon energy, that passion, that fire, without burning yourself out as you may have done before. But pulling back on that energy, but finding it much more powerful in the way that you use it, in the way that you speak. People will really listen to the way that you speak, what you say. And it's not just the words coming out of your mouth, it's the power behind them. So this is a time for you to get really, very much in a visceral sense, get to know yourself. So that's why it would be important to really work with your ego, work in tandem. So again, if you feel like if you haven't already and feel like you want a little extra information, particularly on this month of May, to bring this all into fruition, then click on the link below. That will definitely help you come back and give you more information about coming back into your power. So let's see what we have here. Tree, grounding, absolutely. This is about taking all of your energy and allowing it to work for you, not against you, pulling it down into your feet, into that first chakra, that grounding, bringing in and growing those roots. You've often had roots, but then you've pulled them up and you've moved somewhere else. And that's sort of what you do. You're being asked to ground right into the ground with this energy that you have now. Get to know yourself. A lot of you don't really have a full clue of how your energy works in each system all the way through, because you've been in survival mode for so long. You're in thriving mode. You're coming into it now. You've been risen up. You absolutely know how that feels. So this is a really beautiful opportunistic time. That's not even a word. A beautiful time for you to get back to yourself and really understand how your energy works. Get to know you from the inside out. As you realize the world was a game and you really knew how to play it, but the way in which you played it, you got to know the players, you got to know the game, you got to know everything else. And you played it admirably, but it also took away a lot of your essence, a lot of your spark, a lot of your fire. You're coming back to who you are. You're being asked to really know thyself. And in that, you don't have to expel so much energy. And there's so much power that you've given away before just by playing the game on everybody else's terms. This is you coming back to you. Very exciting time, beautiful time, grounding into your energy, feeling very connected to the earth, to your life, to everything, and to your emotions too. Not being overwhelmed by them, but bringing them in, seeing them as a superpower, maybe for the first time. So this is what we have for you, Pile 1. Sincerely hope it resonated. Sending you so much love and light with all that beautiful dragon energy and magic and alchemy. So much love and light. Until we meet again, I want to thank your guides for coming through with these messages for you and wishing you all the best. So stay safe and sane till we meet again. Hello, lovely Pile 2s. I don't know if you can hear that, but we actually have a thunderstorm going on outside. I don't know if the microphone's picking up on that. So very cleansing energy for you. So again, who are your guides? That's why we're here today. And what are their messages to you? So if you picked Pile 2 and you have, when I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. That is your message to set the precedence for this beautiful reading. Let's put that aside. And we're going to find out what energies around you, what guides you have around you at this moment. Now, they could be, wow, it's really pelting down outside. That definitely could be around you now, or these are guides that you've had for a while. There's so much going on in the stratosphere, as it were. So a lot of people are working with new guides now. And of course, guides can come in and out of your life, and you can also call on guides if you want to. So we're going to pick 3. And as I did with Pile 1, I don't want to be influenced in any way. I also don't want to set fire to these cards. So I'm going to close my eyes as I pick 3 for you. Oh, and the third one popped out itself. So let's go ahead and do that. We may pick another one for you. Oh, we have 4. Okay. So we have Gaia, Earth Connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth. Stay grounded. So your guides. Oh, Green Tar, Supreme Protection. You are protected. Cards being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. Wonderful. So you have real divine feminine energy coming in here. Beautiful. Diana, oh my goodness. Wow. Diana, focused intention. And you have the Queen card here. This is divine feminine at its best. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Focused intention. Beautiful. And the Queen here. Woman, fertility, feminine power, sexuality, and friendships. So you have divine feminine all the way through. That's not to say that you are not connected with divine masculine. There is a sense of balance here with the energy behind these cards, and not at all. But again, let's go back to this one. I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith set in. So in this way, different energy completely, and different messages to Pile 1. But the idea and the understanding of surrendering into your true power to see how that true power settles, and how you can maybe use your power differently with a little less exertion on your part. So divine feminine energy coming in, a very protective divine feminine energy for you also. Yes, that beautiful divine feminine energy, but also that power behind the divine feminine coming in. This working with your intuition, but next level. Also, there is a mothering energy regardless of gender, but at the same time, there's this also this beautiful understanding of sort of cutting cords and saying, I've done what I can plan for you now. It's time for you to go out into the world. Always be there for you. So there's an understanding of sort of cutting cords with your past, letting things go, taking on the responsibility of what it is that you want, putting your energy first. That's definitely coming. So these are your guides, and your message is definitely about stepping forward into your own power, but doing it safely from the energy of the divine feminine, using the balance of the divine masculine to come in to clear the way. It's almost like the divine masculine's coming in and clearing the path for you. But which path you take is very much coming in from the divine feminine. It's a really beautiful offset kind of version of yourself coming in, a very powerful version of you, a very sure version. Now, one of these cards stated, and this is very important for you, to really understand what it is that you truly want in this world. And this is something that you have in common with Pile 1. There's a practical element to you, which is absolutely gorgeous, but you don't always ask for exactly what it is that you want. You ask for what you believe you can get in the moment and work with the energy that's in and around you. And you sort of take note. You're very good at, taking note of all the energies around and what it is that you feel as though you can achieve. You have a very realistic sensibility. Now, there's nothing innately wrong with that at all. In course of survival, it's absolutely necessary to have these traits, and you not only have them, but you've honed in on them. You know how to utilize them and integrate them and be, very successful with them. But this is the time for you stepping up and saying what it is that you truly want, being really honest with yourself, regardless of the circumstances that are in and around you now. So this is about you leveling up with everything that's in and around you now. So here's the thing. This is what's being shown to me, like this very, very deep sort of well. And what it is that you're asking for. You're asking for whatever it is that you want from the world, based on the fact that the water in the well is pretty low. So when you speak to your guides and you ask for what's going on, you want to be really very realistic based on the water that's in the well. I've only got a certain amount of water to be able to do this, so this is what I'm asking for. X, Y, and Z. What they want you to concentrate on. It's a little bit strange, but bear with me. This is the visual that I'm getting, so I got to go with it. They are asking you to concentrate on the fact that as a well, you are a vessel, and the well can be filled up with water at any time. Now, there are many different ways to get water. One of the most natural ways is rain, right? Now, I'm not suggesting that I know how actual well waters run and work, if you were to drink from them, if you have a house with a well. So please don't, this is not what this is about. But to fill up the well, let's say, they're showing that, they can make it rain, as we are raining outside right now, and then fill up the water. They want you to concentrate less on the fact that you have low levels of water and concentrate more on the fact that you are the well, you are the vessel that can be filled at any time. There are many different ways for this to happen, for you to be able to utilize the water and make the water, increase the amount of water. So they're really asking you to go back and really look at everything that you truly want and be honest about what it is that you want. And you will know when you hit that sort of plateau of what it is that you want, what you truly want, not what you feel as though you can get, what you truly want. Because there will be an energy of knowing. There will be this calmness. There will be this sense of beauty, this sort of like tingling feeling. That's it. That's really what I want. So even vision board, something like that. Just get a real energy of what it is you want. If you're looking for a house, if you're looking for a certain type of career, if you're looking for this, that, and the other, be very clear on what you want. Surrender the process afterwards, because, what the universe will deliver will look slightly different, and probably 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, it will be much better, more than you've asked for. But you're being asked, and this is an exercise, and then, your guides are saying very clearly, we know what you want. We actually know what you want, but we can't physically deliver it until you know what you want and you ask for it. When I was younger, it was actually really annoying. I would ask my mum for something, and she would say to me, are you asking me or are you telling me? And I was too young to know the difference, right? So I had no idea what she was saying. But I figured out that if I said one way, I would get what I wanted, and I didn't. Now this is a very childlike way of doing it. It's they want you to understand certain rules, not rules. They want you to understand how energy works, how your energy works. And for you to do that, you have to step up and be responsible for your own energy and really understand how it works from the inside out. You have to know what it is that you want, and you have to believe, you have to be in touch with that energy and believe that it's possible, and then they can deliver it. So there's a little bit of work on your part, but it's fun work and it's beautiful work, and you've got all this energy in and around you. The Queen, Diana, you've got Green Tower Gaia, you've got Gaia's here, you've got Diana, the hunter-gatherer, the focused intention. Again, focus on exactly what you want and knowing that you can get it. Now, a lot of you, Pile 2, are very clear on what it is that you want. You're getting to that point where you're very clear on what it is that you want. Just a little bit of tweaking and make sure that it really reflects what it is you truly want, not what you feel like you can get. This is not the time to ask for anything that you're not 100% invested in. They don't want you to choose anything that you still have to work on. They want you to choose what's already there that you don't have to work on. And again, I'm being given this vision of buying a house that needs to be done up. There's nothing wrong with that. And for people who do that, hats off. I watch a lot of those beautiful shows, and I don't know how they do it, but it's incredible work. I do not have the talent for that at all. But what you've done before, you have no problems like sort of working with people, working on people, you know, building people up, building a house up. And there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that. But again, they're asking you to ask for and receive things that don't need to be worked on anymore. So if you're physically looking for a house, don't look at necessarily houses that you can afford right now. Look at houses that are already done in the style that you want. Really get an idea of what you actually want, and don't worry about the rest of it. Let them fill up the well. Let's get some actual... You have a lot of intuition, a lot of power that's coming in, and your power comes from your truth too, and physically. So writing things, what you've done for what you want for manifestations, that's coming out here, and saying them out loud too. Bringing your voice from the inside out will be something that's very important for you to move forward in. Because it's a way for you to make your mark. You're being asked to step into your own power to make your mark. The Tower, okay, and the Magician, beautiful. Look at this. So the Tower and the Magician, again, the Magician here is female. Again, this is not about gender, but this is about the this beautiful intuition that you have, this beautiful divine feminine and divine feminine energy. Again, that's extremely powerful. Look at Mother Nature. She can build you up and tear you down. She's a force to be reckoned with. Unexpected changes, but nothing for you to worry about. A lot of you have come through this sort of, some of you, I'm getting the word disheartening, so I'm going to use it because, you know, I always use the words that I'm given, even if some of them are quite strange. But kind of disheartening, where the rug's been pulled and you know everything's sort of falling apart, and for some of you it could have been quite dramatic as seen in the Tower, but this is a way for everything to fall away so you're left with your own power. You can see your own power, be able to utilize your own power. You've utilized your own power in the past in order to be able to survive. You're being asked to step into that power, into the thriving states, and use it completely differently to gather what it is that you want. But the first thing that they want you to be part of and to understand is that to want things, to desire, is innately not bad. Some of you have this idea, and it's not really, it's a plant, it's a seed that's been planted. And it's not really your seed, you know, to want success, to desire things, even like a house, something that's physical, not just spiritual. They want you to really work on the idea that your desires are profound and they're worth attention. And that's the reason why sometimes, you know, if you want something and it's something, again, we're going to use the idea of a house. I want a house, but you know, the desire of wanting a house, it's a physical thing. It's, you know, it's not spiritual. So I'm going to dumb myself down and I'm going to take a house that's lesser than, I'll work on it. I'll make it nice, you know, but I don't want anything that's a castle. I don't want anything too big. I don't want anything too grand. I don't want to assume to be too grand. You are grand. You should have a house that reflects that. There's nothing wrong with that. So coming into divine sort of beauty and understanding your desires and how they hook into who you are, and really allowing your desires to take over one way or another, you could really find out a lot about yourself at this point, Paul, too, because, you know, there's an aspect of you that's been trying to move in different directions and really understand sort of who you are. And for some of you, you might be thinking about changing your path completely. You're a scientist and now you want to be a photographer, this, that, and the other. There's a way that you're going to be able to use that science and bring it in. This yearning for something different. And then, you know, for those of you who are in two minds about making that change, because, you know, what you're being interested in now is so vitally different to the way that you've had before, and you're like, how is this going to work? This is your soul telling you that it's open up, and it's you're ready for new experiences, you're ready for new things. Some of you may be in research mode, whether you're going back to school to learn things. A lot of you are unconventional learners, so you like to take a little bit from each person teaching. I have never yet in all of my years come across any kind of spiritual teacher where 100% I was like, yes. But, you know, there have been spiritual teachers where I'm like, I really get that. I dig their energy and this, that, and the other. And you're very much like that too. So I think you could appreciate where you take a little bit of this, but not wanting to dismiss somebody because you're not really into the energy, but there's something that they say that clicks and go, yes, you got that. That's wonderful. So it might be a case of like really coming into different kinds of research, taking smaller classes, you know, not devoting yourself 3-4 years in any kind of school that teaches one way of being, but, you know, coming in with different ideas and different energies. This would be wonderful for you. Even these shorter courses to sort of get you used to coming out of, and it's not even necessarily comfort zone. You're used to coming out of your comfort zone one way or another. There's certain comfort zones you want to stay in, but it's about coming to a process with your desire and what it is that you truly want in this lifetime and standing behind it. Your guides are here to say this is the time for you to stand behind your desires, what you truly want, and we want to bring them to you. Even if they look a little bit different to what you want, even if they're completely different, even if you're doing a 180, we want you to see yourself as that vessel, and we want you to have a beautiful connection with your life. And for you, learning new things, understanding, constantly growing, being in a community that constantly grows, where you're not like, one way of doing things, because that drives you nuts. It literally makes your soul shrink, and you don't trust anybody that tells you, anybody who would have said there's only one way to do things, is that your soul shrinks. It's almost like your throat chakra goes and you can't breathe. You're not into that at all. You don't like that energy. So it's about being open, seeing which path takes you somewhere, open new ideas, new understandings. This could be you getting into new communities that, you know, you always found kind of interesting, but didn't take it that one step further. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. This would be the time for you to do that. Definitely sort of in a spiritual realm, but also there's an academic sense too. You have a very practical sensibility. So when you're learning this stuff, you'll be able to bring it to others in a teaching format. And the way in which you present information, the way in which you articulate yourself really speaks to people. So this is a brilliant, brilliant time for you. Let's see what else we have here. And again, the force of faith again. We say when we surrender. So not really, just really understanding that you're working with your guides here, and look how powerful they are. I mean, it's not just divine feminine energy. You're calling in your guides here are at the top of their game when it comes to divine feminine energy. I mean, they are the superstars of divine feminine energy. If they are on your side, if they are working with you, that surrendering process and also being in align with your own desire, knowing what it is that you want, and in the understanding of not dumbing yourself down in any way, putting your energy first and your desires first without any shame or guilt, then this is a time for them to deliver what it is that you want. And you've been working toward this one way or another. This is not your first rodeo here. Passion and leadership. Yes, we just said bringing this to, for want of a better word, the masses. The way in which you articulate yourself is absolutely grand and beautiful. Archangel Gabriel here for you too. It's a time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. Now, of course, that word lovingly is coming in with all this divine feminine energy and passion here. Archangel Haniel. I love Archangel Haniel. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Absolutely. This is all systems go, moving forward, putting your energy first, moving into that energy of allowing that passion to come forward and having a root for that passion. It's not that you don't have passion, you have a ton of passion. Sometimes it falls short because there is that disconnect with wanting that passion to move forward. Specifically, that's not it. That the disconnect between you and your desires, coming back into reclaiming your desires on all levels. Now, this could be a second, third chakra thing, a womb chakra thing, again, regardless of gender, creativity there, coming into sexual chakras too, sharing yourself with somebody on your own terms. Again, if you've come out of this very sort of confusing period where everything is sort of violently sort of fallen apart, you were ready for everything to fall away at the same time. There's nothing incremental necessarily about what you've gone through, but this is the time to build up in a very specific way of everything it is that you want, with the energy around it that you want, putting your energy first. Got this vision of you like trying to scream above people in order to be heard. So you may have been brought up or been in around situations or gotten used to situations where you had so much beauty to share, but in order to be heard, it's almost like you had to physically scream above others. And that's just because you were not seen for who you were before. This has all changed. There's no more screaming anymore. By redirecting all of that energy from the external into the internal, complete total acceptance of who you are, then the very whisper of power that you have changes the energy of the room. Again, this is very similar. That essence, is very similar to Paul 1. So this is you stepping up in that passionate leadership role and going for what it is that you truly want. Again, with that exercise, putting it down on paper, whether you doing something visual like a vision board. Not everybody's into that. If you're not, don't do it, obviously. But writing it down, journaling, actually scripting, putting it out, saying it out loud. You don't have to say it to anyone in particular. You can say it to your guides, but getting it out of you, what it is that you truly want. And don't you dare dumb yourself down. Ask for whatever it is that you truly want, not what you think you can get, because you deserve more. This is your time for moving forward. Absolutely beautiful, gorgeous time for those of you who are unattached at the moment. There is love energy coming in and around you too. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy the essence and the attention that you'll be getting, and just get yourself out there and have some fun, that joyous, beautiful energy. Let's see what we have here too. Your last card here. Oh, Earth magic fairies, this turned over. I was feeling elemental energy around you too, in a child energy, beautiful other energies too. And another thing I was thinking that could help you, I will link it down below. I believe it's the reading I did just before this. It is for the first week of May. But it's also for channeling the energies of May. This is the entire month. It's a very powerful month. There's a little extra information of how to work in tandem with your ego. to unlock some meditation suggestions. If you feel called to, always listen to your intuition. That could be a little extra sort of providing background to energy for you if you want to click on that video and choose one of the piles there for some extra energy of how to work with the energy that you've gotten and the messages that you've gotten here for the month of May to really work through your power and transcend and come out on the other side. But again, and again, I will put that down below. Earth energy, elemental energy, beautiful sort of quick movements, but very sure movements. Some of you are, you either work in this very, I'm going to do this really quickly, spontaneity is your friend, and then sometimes you take too long to work and then you work everything out, long drawn out process. This is for you to really come connecting completely into your own sense of self, so your intuition works on how quick you can move. This is flawless movement forward, reclaiming your leadership skills and your passion and putting them out there into the world. Again, baby steps. You will know how to move forward when you work with these beautiful guides. Just want to give you one last visual before we leave you, because look at this. And don't worry about the Tower card. A lot of people, move this down here. A lot of people are a little worried about that card, but actually if you're in a position to get the Tower card, it just means that the universe is coming in and just dismissing everything that no longer works, and from that you get to build up this entirely new beautiful platform. And that's why you got the Magician card with it. Look at who you have behind you, that beautiful energy. Remember, you're alchemists. You've come in with all this gorgeous energy, all this gorgeous knowledge. You know how to integrate it. It's time for you to step into that passion and ask for exactly what you want and know that you deserve it. Put your passion first and go out there and be exactly who you deserve to be. So sending you so much love and light. Hope you got something from these messages. May is going to be a very powerful month and beyond for you. So again, if you need some extra help with that, go check the reading that we did before, if it feels like something that you want to. Until we meet again, go be you, you beautiful, beautiful goddess you. Again, regardless of gender. Men are very often great goddesses, more so than women sometimes. Absolutely love that. So stay you, stay golden, pony boy, and until we meet again, stay safe and sane. Hey, you wonderful pile threeers here. If you are here with us today, this is your pile. So we're going to find out who your guides are, who's working with you at this moment in and around when this reading is coming out, and what their messages are and their guidance are for you today. So this is to begin the practice of allowing I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. So that is the beginning message for you, but let's go ahead and get you some messages from your guides. As I've done with pile 1 and 2, I really I don't want to be physically drawn to any of the cards, so I'm actually closing my eyes and hoping that I'm not setting fire to these cards as I do this. Pick some of them for you because I want to be completely blind, as it were. All right, so that's what I got for you. Oh, a lot of blue. You got a lot of the Avalon deck. So let's see what we have here. Oh, love. Beautiful. That's your first card. We've got the Earth Fairy, physical health, grounding, and foundations. And we've got the Hawk, omens and messages. And you've got Green Tara, beautiful, supreme protection. You are protected, cards are being cut, move beyond limitation and trust. So this is the Hawk 2, the objective viewpoint coming in. So you've got sort of similar energy in some ways, but obviously different messages to pile 2, but there's definitely an order here of magic, of beauty, of conquest too, of Mother Gaia, of coming back to the earth, definitely divine feminine energy. But it's also sort of magical practices, alchemy, changing, shifting one to the other. Again, I think pile 1 had it, although we did not have the Merlin card, getting a lot of Merlin energy. And of course you've got the the Wisdom of Avalon deck, which is your main deck. Not surprised about that. Even with your Earth Fairy, there's elemental energy around your pile 3 without a shadow of a doubt. But even so, it's grounding energy. It's this very pragmatic kind of, I don't know, pragmatic you can apply to alchemy. I think so. I think it's a very pragmatic practice, but shifting and changing one transformational into another, getting back to that alchemy, sense of alchemy. So this is about you coming into your own sense of alchemy, your own sense of magic, transformation, surrendering, coming into a new direction, or staying firm on the direction that you want. Really understand, a lot of you understand what it is that you want. It's just a matter of owning it and saying, this is it, this is what I want. And coming into an aspect of self-love, self-appreciation, knowing that you deserve it, living as if you already have it, because you do. There's an element of you that's already, there's already an element of you that's coming in, that's already living this life that you want. It's already there for you. And also not just omens and messages, working with familiars, working with ritual, working with magic and alchemy, but also that objective viewpoint, being able to see things a little bit differently, and bringing in that wisdom into that grounding that you have, and being protected in what you want to do. For some of you, it's about going further in your spirituality. It's something that you may have been a little bit nervous in before, like training to be a medium or this, that, and the other. I do understand that there's a lot of different messages that people get about mediumship and even channeling and this, that, and the other. I totally understand that, and I'm not certainly here to tell you that, you know, you've got to listen to yourself. You've really, we've been brought up being told that it's evil, and you know, it's not true, of course, but it's really important to work with your own inner being before you move forward. We always want you to be very comfortable with where you are before you take on this information and train with it. And even if you are very attracted to it, because coming into it with a fearful mode isn't going to do you any justice, of course. So this is about you acclimating into new situations. This is about you bringing in self-love, self-acceptance, and really getting the gumption to move forward and doing things that are maybe a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but something that, you know, things that are really interest you, something that you already know that you're good at. Like, again, we used the mediumship. As an example, it would be something that sort of frightens you a little bit, or it makes you a little bit uneasy just because of stuff that you've been told. But you also understand that it's not really you, that really truly understands it, and you've always been interested in it. You also know you have these abilities. It's not time to step into that power and move forward. Again, this is just an example, but it would probably be within the sort of realm of the unknown, or going into aspects of spirituality that isn't woo-woo, that aren't woo-woo in any way, and bringing back that information, bringing back those messages. Most of you are used to working in the shadow self and going deep, but you work with that on a sort of a solo affair. So if you just apply that to a sort of an alchemist viewpoint, shifting and changing and transforming, that's what you're doing. So you're shifting and changing baseline fear and guilt and shame, and moving it forward in a way that's very, very powerful for you, peeling back the layers of that shadow work that you've already done, and coming back to the self-acceptance. Again, I did mention this in pile 1 and pile 2. If you haven't, if you haven't already, and your intuition is telling you that, you know, you could use a little extra information, I will link it down below. The messages that I channeled just before this, the reading before this, it was for the first week of May, but it's also for the beautiful energy, the transformational energies for the entire month of May, specifically working with in tandem with your beautiful ego, not trying to cancel it out and not trying to fight it, but working with it in a way that's very, very powerful, can bring you back into your own power, and sort of unlock the key to a lot of this. For you, that would be extra information for you if you feel like you want to do it. Again, we're always trying to just give you some more resources any way that we can. So if you feel as though that might be able to help you, I will link that down below also. Let's get you some more tarot cards. Some tarot cards. You haven't gotten them yet. And some more information for you here. beautiful. Prince of Cups and the Empress. The Empress, absolutely gorgeous. Look at this gorgeous Empress here with the light shining. Also, it's the magic that you have, regaining your power. Again, you've got a lot in common with Pile 2, but slightly different energy. Your energy is very sort of elemental, but practical at the same time. But there's a part of you that's like, that once again, like wants to breathe free, can absolutely feel it. So shedding that doubt, going through that fourth wall, whatever it is, moving out of your comfort zone and say, I'm going to do this, I'm absolutely going to do it, but also understanding that you deserve what it is that you want and really stepping into that power, owning your emotionality, knowing that what it is that you have and everything that you've been through, all those experiences are more than enough to move you forward and to be in the world the way in which you want to be seen. This is about you stepping into your power and being seen the way in which you want to be seen. Now, there's nothing about this that's really like, I want this, and that's really set in stone. You have an energy of how you want to be seen. You're being asked to put that in an insular level from the external to the internal. See yourself that way, which you're so close to doing. Once you do, the world will recognize you for exactly who you are. And you are love. You are magical. But you may have frightened people in the past. There's a little bit of that intensity to you. So, some of you have dumbed down that intensity not to be too much for people. You're being asked to obviously dial that up now. And if people can't handle that energy, then that's just them. But the people that can handle that energy need that intensity. We need that intensity. We need that from you. And you can come from a very powerful place. And again, that balance between love, self-love, a surety, understanding, going out of your comfort zone. Not exactly comfort zone, because it's not brand new, which is, I've always been very interested in X, Y, and Z. I've just never taken the physical steps to go that far and do that. But I've done this, which has been leading me up to that. So there's a whole sort of lineup of things that you've done to get to this point. So even if you are moving beyond your shadow work, even if you are integrating that and pulling it in to your experience, so you're now in the world in a little bit of a different way, and you are going outside of your comfort zone, everything that you've done has brought you up to this point. So that shift outside of yourself into that outside of that comfort zone really isn't that much when you think about it. It's not, and we're not going to downplay it. Of course, it's exciting. Just concentrate on the exciting part, but it's not huge, not as huge as some of you may be making out. So put yourself in the position of going in or incorporating maybe a new direction of something that you've been interested in and something that you already do. Again, supreme protection on what you're doing. You're being told now, if you were trying on some ideas of what you think you might be interested in, but you weren't sure, because you like to have a sure footing, Pile 3, before you move forward. Nobody likes to waste their time. And there were times in your life where you did things for the experience. You're a great listener. You've lived certain aspects of your life, but then there's other times where you've dumbed yourself down. You're like, no, I want to concentrate on this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to just live for the moment necessarily. I want to, I want to achieve. I want to do this. So this is coming into a complete balance for you. But this is just sort of opening up to bringing in those two sides of yourself, of seeing, once they're integrated fully, bringing in that power and that beauty, what you will do with that energy. And yeah, let's see what we have here. There's some more energy coming in. And also being in love with your life. You have supreme protection in whatever it is that you want to do. And so again, if you were sitting the last couple of days, or you were looking for a sign to say, I am thinking about doing this, but I really don't know. It might be way off the path. It might be, because everybody perceives information differently or truisms differently. It might be like, I really want to do this, but it's so different to what I've done before. I don't know. And I don't want to waste my time doing it unless, I should be doing it. I don't know. Or if there's anything idea that's been coming up for you that you want to pursue, but you're not sure of it, you can take this as a sign And always listen to your intuition too. Your guides are saying that this is the time and you're on to something, even if it seems like it's a little out of left field. But again, always listen to your intuition. You can drop down from your mindset into your intuition, into your heart space. The heart space never lies to you, but sometimes the greatest things that we do is when we do a 180 and we say, I'm being driven in this direction. I really don't know why. On paper, it may not make much sense, but I've got to do this. And those are the experiences that we look back on and go, yes, I changed my life. I did that, but this is what I needed to do. Now, it may not be that sort of quote unquote extreme for you. Maybe a division of that, a version of that. But either way, whatever it is, and whatever movement you're being moved into, you absolutely have the protection to move in that direction. And it's a part of you that wants to be explored. And how you do that and how you explore that, of course, is completely and totally up to you. So let's see what other information we have for you here. Leadership. I believe Paul too got this too. Comfort. I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So we have love and we have heart and we have leadership. Archangel Gabriel, it is time for you to assume your leadership, power and position and lovingly guide others. Absolutely. And this goes with the Prince of Cups coming into whatever it is that you've learned and the way in which you've lived your life and learned with all that experiential information and existence will be able to help others. You're an excellent listener. You have a lot of empathy for others. You don't try to impose, which I feel like a lot of people do these days. They impose their own version of how they believe things should be, filtered very much from their own ego. And then people aren't even allowing people to have their own experience of things anymore. It's a polarity of wrong or right. You're exactly the opposite. You know, you give people space to be exactly who they are, to have their own experiences where it doesn't need to be filtered through your own sense of right or wrong or version of events or even, you know, privilege for some of us. So it's the way in which you can help people, the way in which you can step up into your power is a really beautiful way of helping people. And we need more people like you, and that's what you'll be doing. The comfort, and a lot of you will be doing or coming into some kind of justice work, however that works. Coming into or telling your own story about addiction, what it is that you came into with experience, sort of rewriting your narrative. Your narrative actually happened, but writing it down and embracing the narrative of this is, all right, this is the pain that I went through, but through this pain, this is who I became. So this is a transformation energy of you as you heal your heart in this way to really accept everything that you've been through. And again, we want to be very clear here in Unicorn Light Tarot. It's not about forgiving abusers or forgiving people who did not step up and do the right thing. There's a way for you to forgive yourself in that situation and cut the cords with that situation so you can heal from it. You don't need to take any responsibility for people who did not step up and do what they should have done or do their best in that situation. There's also this stuff in spirituality. Sometimes there's a little bit of shame, given to people who have been through that. It's all love and light. Just let it go, be free. It all happened for a reason. That's really woo-woo, and that doesn't help people who have been through some really, really horrific stuff. So we want to be here 150% support for you. So there is a way of looking after yourself, extracting yourself from that information. But again, you don't need to take on any of that information, any of that energy from others who could have done better. And also, for empaths, really understanding where you start and somebody else ends, that energy for you, having those boundaries, that's been important for you to learn. That's been a tricky sort of quicksand situation for you in certain understanding. So it's very important for you to extract your information, extract your version of events, your narrative, and be able to heal from that without the external. So this is really about you at this moment. The guidance of healing your heart on a really, really deep level. Some of you have grief, pulling back those layers of grief and really getting back to what grief really is, which is the ability to love so deeply, and obviously when they're gone, that love, where does it go? So this is an integration of that love from grief. This is an integration of really stepping into your own power, asking for what it is you truly want, taking that energy and really grounding it into who you are, even your earth fairy. This real grounding energy But at the same time, it's also this objective energy of seeing everything, owning your narrative. Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we're defined by the narrative anymore. There's a really big difference between owning your narrative and being defined by it. There's no victim mentality in any way, shape, or form. And even if you're at the stage of being a victim because something's happened to you, embrace that too. There are various different degrees of healing, of course. The shaming of the victim is, again, not going to happen here in Unicorn Light Tarot. But you're not even in that victim mentality. But it's more about for you to own the narrative, so you can integrate the narrative and you can really firmly, properly heal from that. A lot of support, a lot of comfort from that. And from that, you can really be powerful in the way that you want to and help others just by being there. Again, you have that supreme protection, a knot of protection here. Let spirit guide me, and the practice of allowing. I must get out of the way and just literally allow all this beauty to come to you. Some of you could have been blocking it from before because of everything that you've been through. You didn't necessarily, there was an aspect of you that warred with yourself a little bit and wondered if you really were worthy of it. If you have enough people that sort of give you the idea or the understanding through words, behavior, treatment, whatever, that you're not as good as them, you start to take that on. But this is for you to shed all of that. And the way you do that is to absolutely own your narrative and everything you've been through. Again, you don't need to be identified beyond that. We, often take on these labels, star seeds, whatever it is, that we can integrate the knowledge of who we are. Don't need to be defined by them. Some people get really into it and get so defined by them, they can go off in different directions that that aren't necessarily sort of true to your path. This is a way for you to integrate your narrative on your own terms. Once it's integrated, you're not working from it anymore. So very, very beautiful time for you. A lot of healing, a lot of compassion going out for you, pile 3. Let's pull you one more card here. What do we have here? Power. Absolutely. Look at this. Lightning. Power. That is your last card, coming back into your own power. But that tender, beautiful essence of power. There's so many different divisions of power. There's, power is often seen as very masculine because it sort of rails you over. And we're really coming to the other side of that now, where we realize that everybody's been bombarded with this sort of, not even divine masculine, very masculine sense of power, and the divine feminine rising up with that power. Don't need to be the loudest in the room to really to be there and to be seen. And this is what you're getting here. All the magic coming in and integrating in this absolutely gorgeous way. Remember that power. Remember your protection. You've got it on each side here. That beautiful comfort as you're healing that heart and really owning that narrative, so it can be integrated and move into your level of leadership, move on to that outside of that comfort area should you choose to do that in any direction. Be it, a big change or a small change. Again, your intuition will lead you on to the next step to take. You are absolutely being led in a path and a direction. It's just a matter of clearing the way so you can see the path. So again, we're going to link down May update energies for extra ways to work with your ego and extra ways of healing this month that will be available for you for this month and beyond. So we're sending you so much compassion, so much love, so much support, so much beauty as you step into and own your beautiful narrative of everything you've been through, to be able to help others in similar situations, and just to be of this beautiful light, no longer having to dim your light in any way, shape, or form. So take it easy, pile 3, and until we meet again, stay safe and sane. Bye-bye.